Howie Roseman sits young players behind veterans because Howie Roseman picks the wrong people. The objective is when you pick young players, they're supposed to supplant your veteran guys. Like Jordan Davis and Jalen Carter are supposed to be the starters next year, not Milton Williams and Fletcher Cox. And if that's not the case, you got a problem. That's why Nakobe Dean is going to get the starting job. I think the Eagles should go after Surtain. You don't have a ton of money. He's on a rookie deal still. They're going to cut Russell Wilson. They're going to need draft picks. Let's bring in Tone here.
Big Sales, how you doing today, sir?
So do you want to start where I started the show, or do you want to pick it up from here?
Let's start where you left off and work our way back. Is that cool?
Yeah, absolutely. Go ahead.
All right.
On it.
Let's just start with the Patrick Surtain conversation. That's the most intriguing for me right now. I love what you said about it. I don't know what they would want, but whatever they would want, I would definitely be willing to talk to them about it, because here's my logic. Every decision I make from this point forward has to have a direct impact on the Jalen Hurts contract window. That's my mindset. Not 5 years, not 6 years, not 10 years. That's my mindset. Whatever roster move you make has to have a direct impact on that window. And last time I checked, Jalen Hurts' contract, the 4-year extension, takes effect this year. And for the next 4 years or so, they're going to have him at a pretty friendly cap hit. We talked about that at the beginning of the show.
Completely friendly cap hits.
Right. And, obviously, Patrick Surtain, although he's still on a rookie deal, his contract will come up soon, but that's not even the point. We'll get there when we get there.
The year gives you the latitude to work it through the season to give him a deal.
Right. And even then, we'll get there when we get there. The way I see it is, in this window that you have with Jalen Hurts, which is, let's just say 4 years.
I think it's 3, because you're not going to let him go into his final season. Okay? Not knowing what's going to happen.
That's even more to our point. I'm all for making a big move to bring in Patrick Surtain for all the reasons you mentioned. They can't draft corners. They have not shown you since the Lito Shepherd era that they have been able to draft a corner. It's just that simple. And newsflash, Howie Roseman didn't draft those guys either. That was Joe Banner, right?
Yep.
So, again, keeping things...
And Andy.
Yes. Again, keeping things in perspective. This is about the Jalen Hurts contract window. If you don't take advantage of it, and you're still not sure that he's the guy, now you're back to square one with no quarterback.
You are now thinking, my friend, as the NFL banker that you have to, because you're looking at the ability of that contract to give you latitude to do things financially that can catch you back up again. Do you know what? Hey, the draft picks are not really that important to me.
I'm glad you said that. Listen, the Eagles have
the
20. I believe the Eagles have the...
It's the 19th fucking pick, dude.
They have the 22nd overall pick.
That's not...
I'm giving that up. If the Broncos ask me for my 2024 first round pick and whatever else they ask after that, I'm pretty sure negotiations will have to happen. But if they want my first overall pick, my 2024 first round pick, you can have it. I'm getting a ready-made corner who is a former All-Pro, the top of his game, has a top billing of health,
and he
doesn't get hurt. He's 24 years old, and as of right now, we have terrible contracts. We have terrible contracts at the cornerback position. You have an aging Darius Slay. You have James Bradbury, who's aging in dog years. When you think about it from that perspective, do we really have time to wait for Keely Ringo to be ready?
Are you going to?
Do we really have time for Sidney Brown to be ready?
Kool-Aid McKinstry. Are you going to go into the draft and pray for Kool-Aid McKinstry to develop?
Especially
when you can go like this, Tone. How about this? So let's stay status quo for 2 years.
Mhm.
Say they want to have staggered first rounders. You're telling me you wouldn't give 2 first rounders that are closer to being the top of the second round, 11 picks away from being a second rounder, for a guy who's 24 and for a guy who could lock your secondary down. And if you put him on the other side of Slay, does it make Reed Blankenship look shitty? And you've automatically improved your back end of your defense overnight.
Instantly. Adding Patrick Surtain can take you from being one of the worst passing defenses in the league to at least making it respectable. And then at that point,
what's this, Tone? You move off of Slay after that, and you draft a
rookie. And then you draft your corner.
And you pay him $18 million. Dude, what would be the problem? You paid these other guys $15 and $16 million.
And they were 30 years old.
To pay for the best corner anyway, $2 million more at 24 and not 30. You're not looking at it what you have done already.
Exactly.
Take the shot at drafting a guy on the other end, have Slay in him. Here's why you can afford the Bradbury dump. If you bring Surtain and he's still on that rookie deal.
Mm-hmm. As a matter of fact, let's make sure we got our numbers right here. Patrick Surtain, look at the contract here. All right. Patrick Surtain a second. Here we go. All right. So as of right now, Patrick Surtain, he is in the 4th year. He's entering the 4th year of his rookie deal. 9 times out of 10, whoever does have his rights will pick up the 5th-year option, and then he'll be due to get paid for the 2026 season. So
what's the option?
The 5th-year option is estimated to be $18.5 million.
Dude, okay.
And as of right now, his cap hit is only in this 2024 season. His cap hit is only $6.6 million this year. And again, the way I see it, this is me thinking about the Jalen Hurts contract window. This is what we're talking about. You know, we talk all the time how Howie Roseman is just this genius and a mathematician, and he can get all these. He knows how to get it done.
This is up his alley.
No, right. We say all the time how he's capable of getting it done. So when we're really trying to get some things done now, whoa, hold your horses. We don't know if we can make that. We can't make that money work. But all of a sudden, you guys think we can make the AJ Brown money work? Come on, man. Like, we're picking and choosing when we really want to make real moves here. And the fact of the matter is, the defense is so putrid. A move and adding Patrick Surtain, and you expect the defensive line to be better the following year, and you couple that with the Darius Slay. I like your method to this, right? Get rid of Bradbury, trade for Patrick Surtain, go into the season with Slay and Surtain, and then the following year, then you draft your corner.
I can all shoot the Bradbury money with the rookie deal that he's still on. Because when I make the deal for him, I'm going to do this to him. Hey, look here, man. You're not getting out of the building. We're going to give you what you want. But they still have the leverage with the 5th-year option.
Correct.
So, again, they're just going to pick the option up. And it gives them another year of negotiating a 3-year contract with him.
It's kind of similar to the AJ Brown situation. The only difference is you're not giving him the money on draft night. That's the only difference. By the way,
2 first-rounders at number 22 for Surtain? Go ahead.
Patrick Surtain, he changes your secondary overnight. And we've been talking all the time.
You completely solidify your back end overnight.
Because he's going to make he's going to make Reed Blankenship look better. If he's the guy out there, he's going to make him look better. Having Slay and Surtain out there will make all those safeties look better.
That's just right here. Twiz goes, can we talk about real options? Why? They've tried that real options. They reached out in November. And Twiz, they've supposedly reached out this past week.
But what makes it not real?
Conversations. So
what makes it not real
options because your organization is now documented of already having contacted the Denver Broncos in November.
What makes it not real? And also, let's think about this.
The actions of the Eagles did.
And look, let's think about this. When they traded for AJ Brown, did y'all think that was a real option? Let's be real.
I didn't.
Nobody thought that was a real option. No one even expected it to happen.
But here, Tone, the Eagles contacted Denver in November.
Come on, man. Look, I'm talking about the Jalen Hurts contract window.
Yes.
That's my mindset. Winning the Super Bowl within this window. Because
Look
I don't
how
know.
you can fix your defense and make it 35% better with one.
The Eagles were the worst pass defense in the NFL. You ask Surtain with that defensive line and Darius Slay, where do you think it jumps them for? Where do you think it jumps them to? They were 32nd in the league. Where do you think it jumps them to? I say it jumps them to at least 14th, 14th, 13th.
10th.
I'm willing to roll the dice on that. Again, a proven commodity. When you know, listen, we talk all the time.
Because it'll improve Slay's play.
Listen to this. We talk all the time how we think they need to draft a corner in the first round, right? I think we're all well documented as a fan base and as spectators and as enthusiasts of this team that they should draft a corner in the first round. We're all talking about that, right? So, again, let's think about Howie Roseman's track record when it comes to drafting corners. He cannot evaluate the position.
Let me ask you
He has not proven to you that he can evaluate the position, not one time. But what he has done, he's proven that he has an ability to spot a corner in free agency or via trade. That's how you got Darius Slay in the building. We didn't think that was feasible, but we got him in the building. So then Patrick Surtain, that's right up Howie Roseman's alley. He can't draft corners.
You're talking beautifully here because you're talking track record.
But here's the thing, though.
You're talking about Howie's track record.
But here's the thing. People want to use his track record when it's beneficial for them. The reality is his track record has good in it and it has bad in it.
Absolutely.
If we're going to talk about it, talk about the whole thing. He can't draft corners.
Absolutely. He's not good in drafting. He's good at finding.
Exactly.
He found CJ Gardner. He made a deal for both of those players. All I'm saying to people is,
like, do people think it's
they have done as an organization? And
real quick, Sills, do people think it's an accident that the best corners during the Howie Roseman era, the best DBs, let's put it to you that way, the best DBs in the Howie Roseman era have all been free agents or trades? Is that an accident? Is that a myth? Is that a coincidence?
No.
The worst DBs we've had in the Howie Roseman era have been draftees. Malcolm Jenkins, found him. Was that a free agency signing or a trade? Regardless, he found him. He found Malcolm Jenkins, right? He found Rodney McLeod, a proven commodity. He found Ronald Darby, a proven commodity. He found Patrick Robinson in the slot, a proven commodity. He found Darius Slay, a proven commodity. He found James Bradbury at the time, a proven commodity. But then let's go into the ones he drafted, right? Who did he draft at safety or a corner that's really shown to be a really top tier player?
No, see, and that goes with what Twiz is saying here. He wants to keep the 2 first rounders for Howie to take another shot in the dark again at some shitty linebacker or some shitty safety or some shitty corner that he hasn't done in 23 years.
But hold on, wait.
He'd rather do that.
But listen,
and take guys like Nolan Smith or Nakobe Dean.
Still, but they're the same people saying, hey, don't trade AJ.
Stupid thinking.
No, listen. They're the same people saying, don't trade AJ Brown because we don't trust Howie to do the right thing with the picks. But now you do.
Right. You don't want, okay.
Come on,
giving him the picks. Okay. Well, let me go get the guy.
Come on. I'm trying to win now.
And he's on a rookie deal. And he's got a 5th-year option still.
And he's still on the rookie deal. You still got the 5th-year option. You could draft the corner in the following. And look, that's not to say he won't draft the corner in this year's draft still. 2nd, 3rd, 4th round. You might find a guy you never know.
Off a homie.
Right. And also, you guys, and look, we still got Keely Ring on the building. I thought you guys liked him. I
still want to see that guy who was suspended.
Isaiah Rodgers. Still got Isaiah Rodgers. I want
to see him.
I want to see him too. You know what I mean? So again, I'm looking at the Jalen Hurts contract window. That's the priority because as much as we love him, we don't know if he getting this. We don't know if he getting that next contract in Philly. We don't know that. But one thing I do know, they got him locked up for the next 4 years. I'm trying to make a move to get me a Super Bowl win in the next 4 years. Patrick Surtain does that. Drafting a corner and hoping he turns into a guy does not. Because he can't draft him.
Talking about a right tackle. That's not a pressing need. I can address that next year.
I got Lane Johnson for the next 2 years at least.
Correct. That's not a pressing need.
I'm not worried about that.
Your corners are pressing needs financially and production-wise.
If you off the Bradbury deal and then you bring in Patrick Surtain, that completely flips your cornerback room financially as well.
Yes.
Now you're getting more value for your money. Whereas though you're not getting any value for the money the Eagles have. Listen, do we got
And what else, Tony, you getting? You're getting latitude.
Yes.
You're getting the
Yes.
ability to give yourself some room and time here to address a contract extension with him, put him on an option, pick up that. Dude, he's not going to bitch and moan about being on an $18 million option year, knowing full well they're going to give him a 3-year contract. They'll give him the money up front. He'll probably make 2 more Pro Bowls. You're going to give him a Jalen Hurts type of contract because he's a lockdown corner, and you're going to solidify your corner room for the next 10 years.
Exactly. And also, this is why you structured the Jalen Hurts contract the way you did, so you can make moves like this. You feel what I'm saying? If his cap hits were,
that's what I was saying. Because you brought it up, and that one guy brought it up yesterday. Sills, you want to trade AJ, but you want to give the picks to him. Do you trust him? And I go, it's a great take. I don't think I do. So then I started thinking about it, and I called around and I asked, and I go, hey man, so November, how close was it? San Francisco, get this, dude. San Francisco and the Eagles were close to making a move with the Denver Broncos for Patrick Surtain.
Listen,
Sean Payton balked. Now remember something. John Lynch has a great relationship because he played there with Sean Payton and the Broncos and the new management in there. He's got a great relationship in that building with that team. Don't let Patrick Surtain, because Brock Purdy's on that deal, land in San Francisco in the offseason, because on June 1, I'm telling you, Tone, they're cutting Russell Wilson.
Yeah, and also here's another thing too. Remember, keep this in mind. Last season, the Philadelphia Eagles were trying to make a big splash for Christian McCaffrey. Remember that? But then it fell through.
Because the 49ers offered more of a treasure chest of picks to Carolina.
Exactly. So my point in bringing that up is Howie Roseman is on record of trying to make these big swings. On record.
During a trading deadline too.
Right. So by my logic, again, he can't draft cornerbacks. He has not proven to you not one time he can draft one. We have to accept that now. This is a 4-year window we have with this contract. Because Lord knows, let's say they do resign Jalen Hurts to another contract. Let's just say they do, right? The cap hit ain't gonna be that friendly. The cap hit ain't gonna be that friendly. This is why that contract is structured the way it is, so you can make the moves that you can. The Eagles are in cap hell with those cornerback contracts right now.
In my opinion, Jalen Hurts' contract has to do exactly what the Kansas City Chiefs did. They completely addressed the defensive side of the football. If you think about it,
they have to.
Get this. If you think about it, once they gave him that $500 million deal, what significant move have they made offensively in the last 4 years? They've dumped players.
Yeah, no additions, all subtractions. All subtractions. And get this, right? This can be your cornerback room, or this can be your starting corners if everything bodes well, if everything works out the way we think it will. You got Darius Slay, Patrick Surtain, and you got the kid Isaiah Rodgers in a slot. You completely shifted the narrative in your DB room. Completely. Overnight. And we can turn this 2-year fix into a 1-year fix. That fast. Why are we holding on to draft picks when we can't even trust Howard to do the right thing with him anyway?
Let me adjust something. I think your secondary could be between 10 and 12.
And I think that's reasonable. I say 10 to 14, but again, reasonable. I think that's reasonable. The goal is to be respectable because the D-line still got to do their job. And
I don't want to be 27th.
No, of course not. And the linebackers still got to do their job as well. So there's going to be another issue you got to address. But again, you bring in Patrick Surtain to solidify your DB room next to a Darius Slay, and then the following season you move on from Slay, you draft your corner, and you still got Isaiah Rodgers in the slot. There now we cooking with gas.
And you're talking,
and you get cheaper at the position.
You're talking being financially responsible too.
And you're getting value.
See, now people,
in the 4-year contract window. Keep that in mind, people.
You've got it. Those things have to somehow, in a way, all line up. It can't just be this. I miss on Rager. I throw money at AJ. That's a bad move. The only thing that panned out was the player gave you production.
And guess what? Real quick.
And you didn't get the latitude of the rookie years.
Here's the thing, Sills. This is how bad it can get, right? Let's say they do draft a corner in the first round and he doesn't hit. You know what the Eagles are going to do? They're going to find a corner in free agency or trade for one the following year. And now they lost the first round pick. And then they got to pay for a guy now.
And then they lose the 3 years of what that guy could have brought you. Or how about this? You want to hear something crazy? Surtain gives you 2 years of latitude.
Mm-hmm.
And you want 2 20-second picks and hoping that the guy lands on shit that he never does.
How can
you justify that? I mean, if I'm the owner of the Eagles, hey, Jeffrey, I've got a deal for 2 1s and the 24 and 25 and a 3rd rounder for Surtain. Do you want to do it?
And guess what? If you think the Eagles are going to be good, that 2025 first round pick is going to be what, in the 20s, in the 30s? If you expect them to be good, so what are you really losing? Once you get into that range, now you playing with 2nd round picks. Ain't no big deal.
I think that Eagle fans and NFL fans, they look at those first rounders today. It's not like it used to be 25 years ago when that old CBA was in. Because you know why? Guys move off them now because you can.
No,
all the money's now into younger players, and guys are more on the free agent market. To me, in my opinion, I think it's more of a home run if you can get yourself a young player in free agency. Like, look at this guy, Brian Burns. Not that the Eagles would do this. He's 25 years old. He's a top flight defensive end. He's going to command $18 million. Well, shit, if you need a defensive end, you should buy him. I mean, I'm not going to go into the draft and pray I find Aiden Hutchinson.
And here's another thing, too. To your point, and look, Eagles fans, I love y'all, but some of y'all act like it's your money. Some of y'all act like it's your first round pick. It's not. Okay? As far as I'm concerned, it's not my money. It ain't my picks. All right? Make the move necessary to get the right people in the building, especially when you're not. If I know I'm not good at something, it's business. It's clear-cut business.
I think you bring something up. Do you think they don't think they're that good at that?
Listen, if I run a company, right, and I'm not good at a certain department, I keep failing in that position. At that point, what's my next move? I'm going to outsource. I'm going to contract to bring someone to come in to handle an issue that I'm clearly failing at over the past several years. It's simple economics. It's simple business. The Eagles are not good at drafting corners. During the Howie Roseman era, they are not good at it. He is not good at it. He drafts D-line well. He drafts O-line well. Other than that, it's a crapshoot. So therefore, in knowing that, I'm willing to roll my dice on a proven all-pro corner who's 24 years old, still on the rookie deal, which can allow me to transition to the next wave of corners. I get rid of Bradbury, D-Slay, and Surtain, and then the following year, I shift away from Slay. I got Surtain, and then I draft the guy. Now my cornerback room just got significantly cheaper.
Dude,
and more talented.
And more athletic. And you got a guy that Fangio drafted himself in 21.
That Fangio was very familiar with.
Fangio had to look at him when they went to him and said, we're going to draft Patrick Surtain. Great. He was the head coach of the Broncos then.
And it always goes back to what? The Jalen Hurts 4-year window. Do you guys trust?
Too much sense.
Do you guys trust any of these players currently on the roster that we're going to draft to automatically become slam dunks or become real players in that window? When I know Patrick Surtain is legitimate right now,
and that young, he's 24, dude.
So it's too simple to keep talking about.
Dude, I looked at it. Really, you're right. I mean, I thought about it last night. I'm like, so this guy's going to go and try to develop Kool-Aid McKinstry from. And by the way, I don't mind the kid. He's good.
Yeah, it's not about them.
It's such a crapshoot.
Right. At the end of the day, it is. No matter what, the draft is nothing but a big-ass slot machine. The NFL draft is nothing but a big-ass slot machine. And guess what? More times than not, when it comes to the cornerback slot machine, the Eagles lose. Why bet on the game that you know they're going to lose?
Let me do another question here for you.
Yes, sir.
Budda Baker's going to be moved off of. They're going to move him. He's 28. He's two-time All-Pro. And he's probably going to be around a $15 million to $18 million a year guy. We were talking, this offseason the last couple of weeks Are the Eagles going to shift their mentality? Arizona's got it. Arizona's in cap hell. Okay. Well, not so much. They're 44.8. They will probably want to do more damage in free agency. So I'm wrong there with that, because they got 44 million in cap space there. So I would say this to you. When you look at it, is that a viable thing? Or do you think that Howie would pass on something like that?
So going into the 2024 season, man, he's going to have a $19 million cap hit. The dead cap is only $3.9 million, which is really good, but a $14.2 million base that's going right on your cap. Are you talking more so when his contract ends, or are you talking about making a move for him this offseason?
Does he have one more year left?
I think it looks like he does. From what I'm seeing, it says here he's an unrestricted free agent in 2025.
Yeah.
That's
Okay.
what I'm seeing.
It just seems to me, I'd rather, if I'm going to spend my money, I'm going to do it with the rookie deal with Surtain. That's just a little too rich for me.
Yeah.
At that position. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, yeah. I'd much rather go.
What did Bates get last year? Do you remember what Bates got?
Yeah, give me 1 second. He got the largest safety contract in, I think, in NFL history.
Yeah, but I thought he was disappointed that he didn't get like more money. And that I thought that he thought he was going to get more when he left Cincinnati.
Well, the market, it was a buyer's market, in my opinion. Yeah, I want to say it was a buyer's market at that time, but nonetheless, though, he signed a 4-year, $64 million deal with $36 million in total guarantees. Yeah, so that's exactly what he signed. A lot of money, man. A lot of money for a safety. A lot. His base, his base salary in 2024 is going to be $13 million. That's right on your cap.
Boy, I like that.
That's right on your cap. That hit your cap right in the vein.
See, I think the Jamal Adams deal destroyed Seattle.
That's the worst safety contract I've ever seen.
But then they give up like 3 ones for his ass and a whole like $20 million a year or some shit like that. And he's giving them no production up there in Seattle. And he has cost them a king's ransom, dude. He held them ransom.
Yep. That's the worst safety contract I've ever seen in my life.
Was like 20 a year. 3 ones were surrendered to the Jets.
And he played, 15 games for him total in 4 years, 3 years?
He was even a healthy like a scratch this last year in a few ball games too.
Yeah. Yeah, there are a couple teams that got some rough contracts with them safeties. But Seattle signed the worst one.
And I would say the third target would be Kool-Aid or the kid Kitchens from Miami at safety. That's the least of it. For me,
right.
The number one target's Surtain because it makes sense financially, economically, and you're better overnight.
Instantly. All the things you mentioned, I can't lay it out any better than what you did.
I want to show you something else here, Tone. I started the program out with this. Look at these cap projections on Cleveland, the Chargers, the Buffalo Bills, the Cowboys, and the Baltimore Ravens. Cleveland's got a $20 million number in the red on their cap. The best days of Cleveland football. Boy, what tough decisions Andrew Berry's got to make there because, dude, you can't even pay for your rookies right now. How about this one? Chargers just come off of giving Justin Herbert that brand new contract. They're $44 million in the red. Joey Bosa's not coming back.
Damn.
What are you going to do with Derwin James and that contract?
What are they going to do with Asante Samuel Jr. when it's time to pay him?
I mean, no wonder Austin Eckler not been offered any money because you're $44 million in the red. Look at the Cowboys here. So you're 14.6 in the red, $14 million in the red.
Damn.
You got contracts to deal with CeeDee Lamb, Micah Parsons, and with Dak Prescott.
Deron Bland. Got to worry about that contract coming up too.
Deron Bland. What are you going to do here? Who goes?
And
are
then
you going to let Tyron Smith walk out the building?
And remember, Zach Martin.
Are you going to cut Zach Martin?
And look, remember that he wanted a bigger contract, and they gave him some more money up front to kind of make him keep quiet. But they still got to address that.
It's not that you no. Hey Jones, I see it. Rework. You can't rework 6 guys when you're in the hole. $14 million.
It's a lot. It's a lot of money to be in the hole. $14 million.
Yeah. So what are you going to do? I mean, you're working on a brand new deal for Dak. And what are you going to pay Parsons? 30? Are you going to pay Lamb 50? I mean, 20?
That's why it's so damning for the Dallas Cowboys to have not won anything over the past 3 or 4 years or whatever. In my opinion, their best shots was in the rear view. It gets harder from here. It doesn't get better from here. They're downhill now. The Cowboys are literally going downhill from this point forward. But the Eagles have a chance to trampoline back up if they make the right decisions. They can run this division.
The Surtain deal is the right deal for them.
I think so too. Don't get gun shy. Pull the trigger. You find yourself a lockdown corner for the next 10 years.
And
legitimate.
Your cap issues are addressed.
Yep.
Look at what they missed out on Dak. Dak was a 4th-round pick. And he produced early in his career, and they brought nothing back in postseason.
Yep, and they did, and you know what? I will give them credit. They did everything to put weapons around him. Amari Cooper, he had Jason Witten at one point. He had Dalton Schultz. Now got Ferguson, CeeDee Lamb. He had Michael Gallup when he was actually killing people. Cedric Wilson when he was actually doing a great job. That defense has been stellar for the past 2 years.
Wait a minute,
they have dropped the ball big time.
You're forgetting something. They had your boy who is going to save the day, Kellen Moore, is the OC.
Hey, listen, man, you got to earn my friendship. You got to earn my friendship.
The Savior's coming in.
That's funny.
The Buffalo Bills are $51 million in the red. That's why they're cutting Stephon Diggs.
That shit looks crazy.
$51 million in the red.
That's insane.
What are you doing there? Who's making the money?
Oh my God, man.
Like who? Hey, Tone, who's a high-paid guy there? The quarterback and the receiver, right? The rest of those guys, what are they? Are they paying linemen big money?
Let's look at it, right? So,
who's making all this money?
Let's do it. Let's find out, man.
Or it's got to be the quarterback. Horrible hits.
Well, Josh Allen.
This was what makes me do this too, Tone. That's why Jeffrey Lurie has to be like this. Hey, I put more of my ass on the line with Jalen Hurts because I gave him more money up front, and I'm not getting my return on investment. And if this guy doesn't start delivering here soon, hey, you know, I sacrificed not having to worry about paying the guy at the back end here. I'm doing this now. I gave the guy the money up front. Okay, come on, Jalen, let's go. Am I right when I say that?
And that's why the 4-year window that we're talking about is so important. Because when you look at the way these quarterback cap hits are hitting that are affecting these other teams, the Philadelphia Eagles are in rare air right now. Rare air. You have a $50 million quarterback on your roster, and your cap hit for the 2024 season is only 13 freaking million. When Josh Allen's cap hit for the 2024 season is $47 million.
Have a $242 million salary cap is insane.
Look at this. This is their situation right now. This is the Buffalo Bills situation. Look at these cap hits. Stephon Diggs has a 27.
You got a $74 million cap hit between two dudes.
Two guys are taking up 30% of your cap.
And then you got another 23. You've got $100 million in cap hits and lined up in two dudes.
This is
three dudes.
Crazy. Three dudes.
100 million in 3 dudes.
40%. Listen, let's do it this way. 40% of your cap space for 2024 is wrapped up in 3 guys. 40%. This isn't just about jerseys. This is about the money and how it moves.
That guy Bean's fired.
Yo.
Dude, look at that. It's really the rest of it is reasonable.
This is why it was such an indictment for the Bills to not take advantage of these past few years. They've come so close and come up so short.
You see this right here? That's exactly why Sean McDermott's going to be fired.
The Dallas Cowboys, all those. Listen, man, this is dangerous territory here. The Eagles are not in this position yet, and I know y'all don't want them to be in this position. They have an opportunity to avoid this because of the Jalen Hurts contract. We got to take advantage of this 4-year window. Buffalo is going downhill. Josh Allen is a great quarterback, but as an organization, as a team, they're on the decline. The Cowboys on the decline. You got to take advantage of this 4-year window with Jalen Hurts where the cap hits are legitimately manageable. I don't think, if I'm not mistaken, I don't think Jalen Hurts has one cap hit that matches
No.
Josh Allen's cap hit
Absolutely
of this
not.
year.
No.
I don't think he does. Let me double check.
He doesn't. He doesn't. I'm going to show you something that what makes Kansas City just insane. So you have Patrick Mahomes. You're in the Super Bowl for the 2nd year in a row, and you got $24 million in cap space. Shit. They're going to be good for the next, 5-6 years, man. There's really nobody's. And by the way, do I think they move off of Chris Jones? I do. Chris Jones is going to be, 30, 29? He's going to command $28 million. They're not going to pay that. They're going to move off him. And they'll draft a guy.
You're absolutely right. Look at this. Kansas City Chiefs. $23.8 million in cap.
So
and they're in the Super Bowl.
You can win your 2nd Super Bowl in a row, and you're still $23 million under the cap. And you're sitting around looking at some of these other teams wondering why you're not in a position. By the way, San Francisco is $570,000 under the cap. But, dude, they don't have to worry about it. You know why? Because the quarterback doesn't make shit.
Yep. And also on top of this, right, I thought the Eagles were a little bit longer in the truth as a team. Their average age is 26. That's not that bad. But you can get younger and better.
Yeah.
If you off Bradbury, bring in Surtain. Listen, the fact that they have $20.8 million in cap space is astonishing to me. So again, we don't want to end up in a situation like the Saints, who are $80 million in the hole. $80 million in the hole.
No chance of getting out of that.
No chance. You think they win the Super Bowl anytime soon?
Absolutely not. They're almost a decade away from getting out of that.
Exactly.
You're
the
talking
money,
6 years at least.
You always got to follow the money.
And Dennis Allen's your coach.
And Derek Carr is your quarterback.
Yeah. You're not going anywhere with that.
Not going anywhere. But the Eagles can go somewhere if they make the right moves. They have it in front. They have it in front of them. They just can't get gun shy about it.
Or egomaniac about it.
Bingo.
I think it's more the ego thing. All right, Tony, let me ask you this one here.
Yes, sir.
Do you find it? I'm glad that I got some folks in the building now helping me out a little bit.
Be careful. Be careful. Don't tell everybody that.
True. So they had Kingsbury on a contract, inked down, and he was going to sign it. And this guy's worked with Mahomes. He's worked with Murray. He's worked with RPO guys.
Mm-hmm.
He wanted to bring in coaches that were to Jalen Hurts' skill set. He wanted autonomy in the coaches that he thought would be conducive to coaching him, his style, and bring out the best of him in 22.
Mm-hmm.
When that became a point, that's when the Eagles, like every other organization like Atlanta and these other ones, they wanted the control. And Kingsbury said, well, now you know what Washington's doing. It's either Justin Fields or they're going to draft Jalen Daniels, or
Yeah.
they're going to draft somebody.
They're gonna draft somebody that's gonna move around.
That's an RPO guy.
Yeah, and also real quick, before you continue, it also shows where Washington is just from an ownership standpoint. They're not in a position to really, I don't want to say be picky, but they're not in a position to really swing their weight around. They're trying to they're trying to reinstill interest in this team again. They're throwing things at the wall so it sticks. Not saying
And they got $83 million in cap space,
right? And they got a lot of money, so they're not in the mood or they're not in a position to be egotistical. You feel what I'm saying? They're not in a position to be egotistical. They're trying, okay, look, we need the best people in the building, period. And I know I'm on record not really caring for Kellen Moore or Kliff Kingsbury, right? But I want you to, we love to play the conspiracy game on the show, right? Follow me here. I need you to put your tinfoil hat on for me. Remember how I mentioned to you how if Nick Sirianni starts to wet the bed in the first half of the season, this coming season, Kellen Moore might be the first in line to get that interim job and then become the head coach long term? I think, and although I think, in those meetings, things did fall through with the staff and all that kind of stuff, this is what I think. I think the Eagles were foreshadowing. I think that they're really good on hedging their bets. They don't make any move without having a backup plan or a parachute attached. I think they thought to themselves, God forbid, if Nick Sirianni wets the bed, do we really feel comfortable making Kliff Kingsbury our interim head coach?
They've never hired a guy with experience before in the entire Jeffrey Lurie ownership. It makes more sense to that I would buy what you're saying, because Kellen Moore is more of what they do in giving guys with no name as head coaching opportunities than what giving a guy like Kingsbury, because they probably sat back and said, hey, like you said, if it goes south, he fits our profile on the type of coach we usually hire. A guy who's never been hired, guy has an offensive mind. He was interviewed a year ago.
And he's more controllable.
And he knows, and he got the job because he said yes more.
And again, that's me being the conspiracy.
No, I agree. I think
that's,
he fits the profile. Kingsbury wanted this and that. And then at the end of the day, they probably looked at the exit, because when you hire somebody, you also look at the exit. What happens if it goes this way? How's it look going out the door? Remember, most executives and CEOs at major companies, they're always looking for the golden parachute talk first.
Of course.
You don't talk
what
about
if this goes wrong, right? Of course, we all, I'm so glad you said that. Companies, they're always going to talk about what can go right. But more than anything, they discuss, okay, what happens if this goes wrong?
And
do we have an exit strategy?
Negotiation tone about the back end of the contract. If things on guaranteed money, stock options, all of that is the sticking points, more so than the salary at the beginning in the conversation, because you're in the building because they want you.
Yep.
But what goes south is negotiations on the contract in total, in its totality. That's kind of what happened here with Kingsbury. They brought him in. They liked what they heard. Kingsbury and his deal wanted this, this, and this. And when they heard what he wanted, they went, hey, I don't know.
Yeah, I put it like this. Companies, multi-billion dollar companies spend more money on lawyers and contingency plans than they do on employees and people who can actually help them get to their destination.
Think about it, Tony.
They're always thinking about what can go wrong.
Think about it. The United States government does more bailouts than they do giving people gifts when it comes to helping companies. Hey, we can't let that company. Okay, we'll bail them out. Hey, we'll bail them out. Hey, we'll bail them out. Companies, you don't go to the government. Government's not really there to give you loans. They bail out who they want to bail out. That's how the government works.
And let me take it a step.
Deals well.
And let me take it a step further for you, right? What's more valuable when you're on the plane? The gas or the parachutes?
I never looked at it that way. I'd be hiding in the shitter.
Where do you feel more comfortable with? Well, listen, if things go south, what's the first thing you're looking at? You're looking at the parachutes, not the gas, right?
Yeah, I want the parachute.
Okay, all right, just making sure. Making sure that the parachutes are more valuable than the gas. I'll tell you that right now.
The gas could drive me into the mountain, man. I'm jumping up before we hit the mountain.
Exactly. Hey, look, again, this is my tinfoil talk now. But we'll see how this thing pans out ultimately.
Yeah. You know what? What happens when you hear and see your little Eagle guys, some of them getting their little, hey, we can't give up 2-1s. Why? Because your guy's a phenomenal drafter. Well, I want you guys to face something. He sucks.
Eagles fan. I didn't take that from my dad.
Don't stole that from his pops.
That's funny.
Hey, that's interesting. What's your pop think of all this?
We talk often about it, and all he can do is really lean on me. And I just tell him, look, just don't hit your wagon anything quite yet. Just watch it.
No
just
jersey buying? See, this is what you should buy your dad. Ready? Get him an Eagle jersey. And then what you get is you get a tearaway name. The Velcro, you can put a new name on the back, and you could get a Velcro number, have an Eagle jersey, because remember something, I'd be like this, Pop Tone. Let me just say this to you, man. Dad, we're going to pull the jersey number off and the name in the back of the jersey, and we're going to be able to stick a new number to.
Oh, my God, Velcro. hey, Matthew, don't be a stickler, all right? You know what I mean. Don't be a stickler, Matthew.
Oh, I forgot we have English majors in here, mathematicians.
Don't be a stickler, Matthew. I love you, man.
Holy cow! Hey, it's funny because people get so upset because you know why? They want draft day to matter. I don't care about draft day. I don't care about draft parties.
When we drafted AJ Brown, did we care about that first round pick then?
No.
Last time I checked, we didn't give a damn. We didn't on draft night. None of us thought AJ.
I forgot they were the Saints involved in that or something?
No, it was just Tennessee and Philly.
It was just Tennessee. Okay. Oh yeah, all right.
Fair enough. You know what I mean? Let's be real. We were talking about them drafting either.
How did we get the Saints 1?
I think that was that happened. That was a swap. That was a swap. Yeah. That was a swap.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I told Calarulo today, and I by the way, I think he's maybe a Northern Italian. He tells me Sicilian. I don't know. I told him, I said this about Kelce and the reason why Kelce's instrumental in coming back. I said Kelce's instrumental in coming back for one reason. If you're going to have a brand new formula and how you're going to approach, and you struggled in blitzing, don't you want the most experienced center in the league to make those line calls? Why would you want Cam Jurgens or someone else who's not experienced or you've struggled at something? Wouldn't you want the guy? He's not the 5th best guy. He's the best guy.
Exactly. He's not top 10. He's
especially
top 1.
When you're making a transition.
Right. He top 2 and he's not 2. I'll tell you that.
Dude, if you had like a high-powered offense going and a high-powered outcome and your quarterback was great against blitzes and you were making a move and Kelce wanted, and you're making no move, and Kelce wanted to retire, okay, we draft a center. It's a priority. Right. It's the second most important position on the O-line, in my opinion. You don't do it when you ran out of gas at the end of the year. You're making a complete overhaul in your coaching staff, and you say, hey, get this. Let's just put a new dude in there. Hey, man, that quarterback is just as important to that offensive approach, and I think the center is just as important.
A lot of changes in the brain trust so far. You change Jason Kelce, you move Jason Kelce. Now you're
disaster.
You're flirting on, like you said it best. You're flirting with disaster. It can get a little tricky, in my humble opinion. I don't know if I like Cam Jurgens, but if Kelce wants to come back, I'm rolling with that.
Absolutely. All right, Tone. Appreciate it, my friend.
Yes, sir. It's always fun talking to you, my friend. I love ruffling the feathers of the people.
That's good. That's my friend Tone. Jason Cole's going to join us. We'll talk Super Bowl with him. Hit the like button. Keep it here, National Football Show.